All right, let's get started. So, first things first, we'll start off on the S&P. We are bullish on the monthly time frame, we're bullish on the weekly, and we are continuing to stay bullish on the daily. Again, like I said before, we're looking to take out these monthly highs and then these monthly highs. After that, that continues to be the bias. That continues to be the bias that I'm playing off of. These are really the three main areas on the monthly time frame that I'm looking to achieve. And then interim for that is going to be these weekly highs right here. Okay, so on the daily, we're bullish. On the 4 hour, what are we looking like? Sweeps of this. Wow, this is tricky. We're kind of playing within this consolidation right now. We remain bullish on the daily time frame. We broke structure to the upside on the hourly. The 4 hour is a bit of a mess. I will not lie to you. And to me, this overall does look bullish. We had a break of structure to the downside, then a break back to the upside. I don't really know what to think of this, where these are the lows. We wick past it, but then close underneath it, but we also have this big ass wick to the downside, and then we get an hourly break to the upside. For me, I'm going to be bullish today purely based on the fact that every other time frame is holding bullish besides maybe potentially the 4 hour. So if the 15's bullish, the hourly's bullish, everything's saying bullish, I'm going to be looking for buys. We don't have any news today, I don't believe. Nothing. So that's the S&P. We'll probably look for either like this 15-minute fair value gap, maybe even a sweep of these hourly lows. Oh wow, it actually, just kidding. We're actually bearish on the hourly time frame right now. I didn't even notice that we broke structure to the downside with this candle sweep. So what we will be looking for is a break to the upside. And I guess until then, see, I can't even say that I'm bearish on this. This is just really, really bad price action right now. This is consolidation. We might look at Forex pairs today, boys. We might look at Forex. Same thing here on NASDAQ, except we are already past these highs. We already got past these. These are the next ones in sight for us. On the weekly, this is kind of where I want to see next. Daily, we're bullish. 4 hour. Let's see if we can get some more insight on this. Look at this horrible price action, bro. I'm glad that we didn't trade on Friday after the fact, after looking at this. So, dudes, literally same situation here, where we have a sweep of lows, but then price goes all the way down, but not all the way past where price swiped at. And on the hourly, we're bearish. This is an interesting day. I really don't know what to do with this information. This is pretty ugly price action. Not gonna hold you. Boys, I'm just trying to. I'm looking around. I'm trying to see if there's anything that we can get really active on. I don't like the S&P at all. Nasdaq looks a bit better, but still pretty bad. Bro. This is what I'm going to do. Literally just going to plot market open. And I'm going to let price develop up until 10 Eastern time. See what price gives us until there, okay? Because right now, this is just... I mean, we can make sense of this. We obviously want to go higher. But it's whether or not we want to come in and fill this imbalance first. Also, I have to poop really bad. But we have to come in and fill in this imbalance. We have this massive area of consolidation with a massive imbalance right underneath it. To me, this is kind of looking like Wyckoff's method. Spring higher. Yeah, and ideally I don't trade in consolidation. So this could be a very, very quick, there's nothing to see here, on with the day, or market will open and it'll start giving us some action. I think the best thing for me to do would be highlight draws on liquidity. So for this, it would be these highs right here and these lows right here. I'll do the same thing on the S&P. Let me mark out market open and identify the high time or interim sort of like low time frame draws, because yeah, these are definitely the areas that we would like to see get taken out. I think if anything, I would like to see a sweep of these relative equal highs and then to see price go down and fill in this imbalance. That's what I would want. We have two imbalances on the S&P that haven't even been touched yet. We have this one, missed it by this wick. And we have this one. Again, we don't want to play the game of like, oh, I think it's going to go down into this area because it's a high probability area that price could react off. We're not going to play that game. We're going to play what price gives us. So if it sweeps to the downside, perfect. We can go ahead. It looks along this because everything is saying that this is a bullish pair right now for the high time frame, weekly, monthly, daily. It's saying bullish. However, we're still giving it the opportunity to show us potential legs down. Okay? So that's what I'm kind of going off of right now. We'll see what happens when market opens in 10 minutes. But that's kind of how I'm rocking with this for now. So market just opened here. We're bullish on the 15-minute at the moment, bearish on the hourly. I'll be interested to see, because we're going to wait till 10 to place a trade anyways, or even if, we're going to see if we even want to place a trade with how horrible this price action is. But, we're going to see if we can potentially break 1 hour structure on NASDAQ and the S&P. And if we can do that, then that'd be awesome. Means we can start seeking out these higher areas. Timeframes of liquidity. Okay, so it looks like we're going to break 1 hour structure to the upside and break out of this consolidation that we were in, which is awesome for us. It can pretty much safe to say that we're looking to draw on these higher time frames of liquidity, which is really, really fucking perfect for our overall bias because we wanted to be bullish in the first place. And it looks like we're going to get that on both of these indexes. So now what I would be looking for is one, we have this imbalance right within here. And then on the 5 minute or on the 1 minute where we made a bunch of imbalances within here as well. But me personally, I would kind of like to see this area get revisited. I mean, hopefully. If not, wait for, I mean, we have two kind of 1 minute imbalances right here. I wouldn't really like to take anything off of that. Preferably at least a 5 minute retrace. So maybe that means we have to wait for a little bit longer for price to give us something. But until then, same thing on NASDAQ. Big ass imbalance right here. I would love to see price going there. Not too much in terms of the 1 minute. We do have this big imbalance right here that could be used as a 5 minute retrace. We also have the 5 minute imbalance right there. We don't have a 5 minute imbalance on the S&P. So it's really just sit back, relax, watch, and see what price wants to give us. Hopefully we can get some lower entries for longs, okay? All right, boys, so right now, we broke structure to the upside on the 1 hour time frame, right? So we know we want to be bullish for today. We have a couple things. We have this 15 minute fair value gap right here. We have this 5 minute fair value gap on NASDAQ. NASDAQ smoking on the gas pack. And on the S&P, we did come in and fill this 1 minute fair value gap right here. But for me, since we were already so overextended and we were pretty much seeking out, boom, these relatively equal 4 hour highs, if we look at this, like, right, this is some solid liquidity right here. It wasn't smart for me to take that off of just like a 1 minute little fill and chill type of situation. So what I want from the S&P is we don't have a 5 minute fair value gap, or we sort of do, the tiniest one right here. I'll go ahead and mark it out, but ideally we see this go lower, and if it doesn't go lower to the 15, then I won't really look for anything, and it actually looks like it's going to form a 15 minute fair value gap right here anyway. So now we have two 15 minute fair value gaps that we can play within for a price to revisit. It looks like NASDAQ, this is what I think NASDAQ comes in and fills this 5 minute fair value gap, while the S&P fills this 15 minute fair value gap, and then we get reactions for both. Regardless, we're looking to go long on these today, and then yeah, we'll kind of go from there to see what price wants to do. All right. NASDAQ's pushing into this 5 minute fair value gap. It looks like the S&P might be able to get some action to the downside right now. We'll see. Okay, so we formed this 15 minute fair value gap on the S&P. On NASDAQ, we filled in this 5 minute fair value gap completely. So now what I'm going to be looking for on gas pack is going to be a 1 minute break of structure to the upside, or just a 5 minute candle to the upside showing confirmation that we are going to be moving up from here. So honestly, right now, NASDAQ has been playing out better than the S&P. We'll see what the S&P wants to do. If it wants to fill in this 15 minute fair value gap, we'll see. And we'll also see if NASDAQ wants to go lower and fill in this 15 minute fair value gap. But overall, doing good, staying patient, just waiting for price to give us what we want. So yeah, that's we'll see where price wants to go from here. All right, so we made this high on NASDAQ within the 5 minute fair value gap. So if we can get a closure above here, that's pretty much all I'll need to be able to go long on this right now. But for the time being, we haven't had a closure above, so we're kind of just watching and waiting. We made this high, we'll monitor highs. On the S&P, nothing yet. We haven't touched into this 15 minute fair value gap, or this one obviously, so we're kind of just waiting on that. Okay, so price just dumped down. We've just filled in this 15 minute fair value gap, which is awesome. On the S&P, we pushed all the way past this 15-minute fair value gap. Odds are we target this one even fucking better. This is what we want. So from here, however, if we break 5-minute structure to the downside on NASDAQ, I'll have to probably wait for like a 5-minute break of structure, or the minimum would be a 1-minute break of structure, fair value gap getting filled. But yeah, this looks great. We just took out these 1-minute lows and we're within like the actual imbalance play from like here to here. So we'll see if this wants to get filled even more, maybe come down to the break of structure area where we were able to forcefully push through with these 2 candles. That would be super solid. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. This looks really good for our longs though. Okay, so we got a break of structure to the upside on the 1-minute on NASDAQ and the S&P. However, no fair value gaps have been made so far, so that's kind of what we're looking for next. Would be a break of structure a fair value gap to get filled. We are still technically playing within this 15-minute fair value gap on the S&P, so that looks great for us. We're literally just waiting for a fair value gap now on that. And then on NASDAQ, similar situation. We dipped into this 15-minute fair value gap, which started right here, which is great. And we broke structure to the upside on the 1-minute. Sorry, this is going to take a sec to load. Okay, so we broke structure to the upside on the 1-minute. And we actually just formed this tiny little fair value gap right here. That's the only thing that we have right now. On the S&P, we have a bit of a better fair value gap right within here. We'll see if any of those smack. And we'll also make sure, okay, yeah, it looks like this completely wicked out this 15-minute fair value gap. So that's something to keep in mind. We have 2 fair value gaps on the 1-minute that could be filled by these 2 indexes. And then from there, if we get a entry and then a reaction off of it, awesome, we'll enter. If not, sit back and wait. All right, boys, so we closed underneath this fair value gap on the S&P. We closed underneath the same fair value gap on the NASDAQ. We're still bullish, so that gives price the opportunity to make another fair value gap. However, the entry that we wanted to have on this is now invalidated because we closed underneath it. So what do we need? Another fair value gap to get made. That's really what we're waiting for right now, or price to push even lower into these 15-minute fair value gaps that we've highlighted all the way down here. Even though we already filled this a bit more on NASDAQ, we would look for it to get filled more. And on the S&P, I guess we would be either looking for this one to get refilled in or this one to get filled in. So it looks like we might be able to make a fair value gap right here on S&P. NASDAQ actually just closed off its chance to make one. We have 8 seconds left on the S&P to see if we can make one on here. We shall see. Looks like we did, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. On NASDAQ, we did not create one, so we're still waiting for NASDAQ, not waiting as much on the S&P. We'll see. All right, we closed underneath this fair value gap. Hey man, this is just one of those days where it's very similar to Friday, honestly. We closed underneath this fair value gap. We're still waiting for stuff to get happening, so we're still playing within this 15-minute fair value gap right here. Still have potential to the upside here. On NASDAQ, it looks like we're going to go lower a bit. We just broke structure to the downside on the 1-minute time frame. So now in order for me to look for anything, I'm going to need a break to the upside and then again a fair value gap getting filled. So again, just part of the game. Got to be patient. Wait to see what happens. We'll see. The S&P hasn't broken structure to the downside on the 1-minute, so if we can make another fair value gap off of this action, awesome. We can use that if we want to come in and fill that. Same thing on NASDAQ, except we need to break 1-minute structure back to the upside again for me to look for a fair value gap to get filled. Again, really slow day today. There's no news, probably the cause for the lack of volatility today, but again, I'd much rather be safe than sorry. Trying to get active in this shit. This is not no motion, Broke structure to the upside on NASDAQ, and then on the S&P, we're still kind of just playing around. No fair value gaps have been made. Whole bunch of consolidation right now. Look at all these wicks on the 5 minute, 15 minutes, just kind of, it looks clean on the 15 minute, but on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, we can kind of see inside on this, and we can see that this is no serious action. So yeah, man, we're just watching and fucking waiting at this point, waiting for some shit to happen. Okay, we're making some motion to the upside on gas pack now. Let's see if we can get a freaking fair value gap to get filled, eh? Should we? This is horrible price action, bro. This is actually the worst. Not like, dude, baby shit. We gotta, like, it's really just waiting for shit to get active, bro. It's pretty crazy, but. No fair value gaps have been made so far, bro. This shit is horrible. Something interesting would be if we can get a 5 minute break of structure to the upside right here, because then that would be like a 15-minute extension confirmation out of this 15-minute fair value gap from here to here. So that's something to watch, would be these 5 minute highs in the next 30 something seconds. That might be something to just go long off of, I'm not gonna lie. Because then it's like we get the 15-minute fair value gap getting filled, and we get the 5 minute break of structure to the upside confirming extension. It's just such horrible price action right now. I'm not gonna take that. I'd much rather just wait for actual genuine confirmation. Okay, the S&P made a fair value gap and we filled it. Let's see if we get reactions. Or if we close underneath this shit. Oh man, this is gonna be the most uneventful trading day ever, bro. Looks like we might be getting a reaction on the 1 minute on SPX. However, look how far up we are, guys. First of all, I probably wouldn't even enter on this. It didn't close outside of the fair value gap. We'll see what NASDAQ does. Honestly, I might just opt out for the day, guys. I think I'm just gonna I genuinely think I'm just opting out for the day. Really, like, the only thing that I saw/seen is this. You know, off the 5 minute break, up to these. It's just not much to go off of. We can see if we get a fill of any of these fair value gaps within here on the 1 minute, because we just started making proper movements. You know, maybe we get an entry off this. If we can, then sure, fuck it, I'll enter with super low risk. And kind of see where we go from there. no fill of this yet. S&P reacted off of this fair value gap. However, that really just wasn't enough for me. If we push past these highs, then I'm done. I'm just out, and I'll settle for that. Just settle for knowing that I was right on the bias, but nothing gave us an entry. This is kind of my last possibility for an entry right now. Alright, boys, so it looks like we are going to end up hitting that price. Yup. So no trades from me today. However, overall bias was correct. If we ended up taking that one that I said we could potentially get, even though I wanted more confirmation on, which was the break of this 5-minute structure, enter on the 5-minute close with stops underneath here, and then target these highs. Obviously that would be playing out right now, but I chose not to take it. It just wasn't what I saw. It was what I saw, but we couldn't get any 1-minute fair value gaps to form. But I'm okay with that. Overall, bias was correct. Again, much better to be safe than to be sorry in the market. I'd rather wait for a 1-minute confirmation, like a 1-minute fair value gap, and enter off that. I'd rather wait for a 1-minute confirmation, and if I don't get it, then be completely fine with it. That's just kind of how I feel. Like, I would rather wait for extra confirmation and miss a trade than enter with little to no confirmation on a trade. So that's that. No trades from me today. I'll lock out of here. We got a lot of really cool and good trading content coming to you guys. I don't know why I clicked on YouTube. Coming to you guys. That's why I clicked on YouTube. On YouTube. Starting a new little series on how to create your own strategy. I'm also doing a couple funded account challenges, which are in the process right now, which has been pretty fun to do. I tested out that full porting strategy that you guys told me to do, where you take 4 accounts, full port them, so one of them passes, and I'm currently in the process of full porting one of them right now. We're going to see where it ends up, and if it ends up making me money or losing me money in the long term. And last but not least, YouTube people, there's huge sales going on right now on the Discord. So if you guys want to see these live trades happen every single day, link is going to be in the description. There's a bunch of stuff. If you sign up for annual, you get a 50K funded account challenge if you sign up for the 6 month, and this is applicable to people in the current Discord. Okay, so if you guys are on it right now and you're like, damn, maybe I want to sign up for annual, or maybe I want to sign up for 6 months because I get a free funded account challenge that comes along with it, now's the chance. It's Black Friday, and yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for me. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Should be good to trade. I actually haven't even gone over full. Okay, so we have FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow. Fuck it, I'll hop on Zoom regardless and talk shit over. I won't be trading because of meeting minutes. And then on Wednesday we should be good to trade. We do have a lot of high impact news. But I usually do trade on unemployment claims and consumer sentiment. Sometimes it's just harder to find entries, but we'll see what happens there. Thursday, obviously, Thanksgiving, bank holiday, and on Friday, we have flash services. That should be good to trade as well. So unfortunately, no trades were taken today. We knew what the bias was. Fucking clap it up. We know how to trade. We know where the market's going to go. That's typically what you want. Regardless of if you take a trade or not, just overall knowing where the market wants to go. But yeah, with that being said, appreciate you guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Also, thank you for 100K on YouTube. Fucking awesome, boys. Super, super lit that we were able to get that done. But fucking fire. All right, boys. I will catch you guys sometime soon. Probably tomorrow.